Woo! Man! This is the SEC, the Gators, and I am fired up. And if you're a Florida Gator fan, you are too. Man. Oh. Congratulations for college football. Congratulations to be back. It was great to see the fans. I mean, last night, Virginia Tech, open it up to Sandman. It is just amazing. Gainesville sold out there at the Swamp. Just to see it, all the games on, just incredible. But we're here to talk about the SEC and the Gators. Man, it's a bittersweet night right now because there's a lot that just went on. First and foremost, congratulations for the victory, 135-14 in an interesting fashion. I will say that starting quarterback Emory Jones, and I'll emphasize starting quarterback because he was not the quarterback to finish the game. I want to get to it so bad. I want to start this video out by Emory Jones is amazing. He's waited his turn. Such a humble, athletic guy. I'll go over his stats shortly here, but you can't start this video off and get to it quicker by saying these two words. Anthony Richardson. Watch out college football, watch out SEC, watch out Heisman, watch out. This guy, I want to get to it quickly, but before we get to it, let's talk about the team here. Stats. Emory Jones went 17 for 27, 113 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Those 2 interceptions were pretty costly. We could have been up 28-0 at the half. We were only up 14-0 at the half. And there was a miscommunication at the end of the half there where we ran a 4-yard QB sneak, which ultimately did cost us. That was on fourth down. Anthony Richardson, from the passing standpoint, 3 of 8 for 40 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He was 3 of 3 all the way up until about a minute or two before the end of the game. Dan Mullen wanted to see the quarterback throw. He wanted the gunslinger to throw and see what he had. So that's where those 5 incompletions, a lot of them were on go routes, which were about a foot or 2 ahead of the receiver. So the 5 incompletions are kind of a wash, but they're still on the board. Rushing standpoint, we'll start off leading rusher, Anthony Richardson, who plays quarterback, 7 carries for 160 yards. 1 touchdown, a long of 73. He averaged 22 yards per carry. Incredible. Malik Davis, 14 carries, 104 yards, averaged 7 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, 31 long carry, which was great. It's great to see Davis get out there and lead the running backs. Emory Jones had some great rushes as well. 10 carries for 74 yards, another 7, average 7 yards per rush, and a 23 long of a game. And Damian Pierce also, he had 2 touchdowns, 31 yards, 6 carries, average of 5 yards. Anytime you get average 5 yards per rush, you're doing a good job. So we had 4 rushing touchdowns on the ground, which was great to see. There's been a lot of different things throughout the year of how we've scored with either passing or running, but man, whew. And yeah, it was Florida Atlantic, the Owls. It was the first week. We're not trying to overhype, but we're fired up. This we're gonna get into this. So, the other SEC teams, the top SEC teams, Bama went through Miami, and looks like they didn't lose a step, so can't wait to see them actually in a couple weeks. We will see them. LSU's, there's a tight game going on with them and UCLA, who is on the fence, beat Hawaii last week pretty easily. However, LSU's ranked in, I believe they're 16, so we'll see how that finishes up. And in Georgia, in Clemson, that barn burner is, I think it was 10-3 when I last checked, and it was a defensive ball game. It's still week 1, so teams are still trying to get through their offense and a little delayed a bit, but 10-3, you think there'd be more scoring with those two high-powered offenses. And let's get to the star of the show today, and that's Anthony Richardson. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, this is what a lot of people are saying, certain comparisons, but this guy rocks number 15. Okay, now we all know who number 15 is for the Florida Gators. Tim Tebow. He's our guy. Let's go. Timmy is going to be the guy forever and ever and ever. And he's one who loves both quarterbacks, and Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson. But Anthony Richardson is number 15 for the Florida Gators. Okay, and at the end of the day, he's, in my eyes, Cam Newton, Tim Tebow, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson into one player. There's a reason why Dan Mullen is being hush-hush about this, because Emory Jones has done his thing, and who knows who's going to be the starting quarterback next week. However, there's a reason why Dan Mullen was hush-hush and continued to play Anthony Richardson for the rest of the game after Emory Jones was giving up the ball, wasn't making great decisions. I mean, he wanted to see Anthony Richardson and give him reps. I mean, that's one thing Coach Mullen said at halftime is, I want to give Richardson more reps. Game reps are obviously very different than practice reps, but this guy showed you that he's ready to ball and ready to play. I mean, Anthony Richardson is from Gainesville. It's his hometown. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect. I'm going to read through quarterbacks since the Tebow era. We've had obviously great quarterbacks go through our university with Warfel and Palmer and Rex Grossman, but we're looking back to Chris Leak, and that's kind of the era, the Urban Meyer era. Coach Urban Meyer was there today. It was great to see him back on. Great to see him back in coaching in Jacksonville in general, but he was there at the game. Coach Spurrier was there. They took a picture. They were fired up to see what this year's Florida team had to offer. But, I mean, Chris Leak obviously led us to a championship, but he didn't lead us to a full championship. He had the help of Tim Tebow. So Tim Tebow was on that team. So I'm talking Chris Leak, Tim Tebow, and us Gator fans, we're fired up for, once Chris Leak graduated, Tim Tebow was the guy for the next 4 years. Led Heisman Trophy, couple championships. Like, this is it. We're gonna continue this path. John Brantley came in. We're like, yep, let's go. John Brantley, wasn't that great. Did okay, but it definitely was no Tim Tebow. Jacoby Brissett. Okay, this is the era now. I feel like we're talking about the Browns when they went through their different quarterbacks every year. Jacoby Brissett. Jeff Driscoll wasn't bad. Thought he was going to be a little similar to Tebow. Wasn't. Tyler Murphy ended up transferring. He actually did okay at Boston College. Skyler Morningweg, definitely another transfer. Treon Harris transferred to Tennessee State. He actually was okay during that era. Will Greer, I mean, he was our guy. He was going to be our guy. Was amazing. I mean, had a great career at West Virginia. Ended up getting suspended for PEDs while he was with us at the Gators. And he played a couple years in the pros. And then we had Luke Del Rio, Jack Del Rio's son. We're like, yep, this is our guy. This is going to be the next era of Florida Gators. No, he got hurt, and ultimately, really, it didn't end up doing much. Austin Appleby, Felipe Franks. Felipe was our guy for a little bit. Couldn't win the big games. Got injured. Was with us for a couple years, and it just ended up. He transferred as well to Arkansas. He had a decent career, and he got picked up by the Falcons. So go Felipe. You did great for us. We love you, man. And then we had Malik Zaire. Thought he was going to be something from Notre Dame. He transfers from Notre Dame, and he doesn't end up doing much for us. And ultimately, I don't even think he got drafted. And then we got Kyle Trask, and we're like, all right, underdog. He's with our guy. He's a 2-year starter. Kyle Trask was amazing. I mean, to me, Kyle Trask was the best quarterback after Tebow in general. I mean, you could throw in Will Grier, but ultimately, Kyle Trask did it for us. Yeah, we had Tony, we had Kyle Pitts. We had a lot of weapons for Trask, but I mean, that guy worked so hard. Humble guy, won us a lot of games, and ultimately, sitting behind the GOAT at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady. Good luck to Kyle Trask. So now we're thinking Emory Jones. This is his year. Hope it's his year. Not really sure. We still got a young squad. Defense looked great tonight. The 14 points that they gave up one was in the 2 minutes at the end of the game, and there was just a cheap penalty that led to their first touchdown. So really, defense wasn't giving up much. Pitts a shutout the way I look at it, and we're thinking, we're gonna compete. We always compete. We're the Gators, baby, and we're gonna compete against Bama, Georgia, LSU, Tennessee, Missouri, South Carolina. Anyone that comes at us, we're gonna compete. But we all know college football is about your quarterback, just like the NFL. It's your quarterback, and your defense. Really, you gotta stop the opponent, of course, but you need to score points. You got to score points. You got to stop the opponent. That's how you win games. So we're thinking Emory Jones. There's a lot of talk, a lot of battling here. Anthony Richardson did all he could to be that starter. Week 1, first snap of tonight's game, didn't end up happening. Emory Jones was the guy. Anthony Richardson. I mean, this guy stiff-armed in, I believe it was the third quarter. Some corner came up. It was like Marshawn Lynch. The earthquake run times 1,000. I mean, Anthony Richardson's been hitting the weight room. The guy's got pipes. This guy, it's like, get off me, son. I mean, he's 6'4", 240. I believe he runs like a 4.4. He might even be in the 4.3s. I mean, he's football fast. I mean, his 73-yard rushing touchdown, I mean, he just broke away. He's one of those guys that look way faster. I mean, I've never seen him run on the track, but way faster with pads on. Faster than everyone. Again, Cam Newton, Tim Tebow, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, they created this specimen for us to win a national championship this year, get over the Bama hump, and let's go. Anthony Richardson. The hype is real. He is gonna be the guy. Listen, you ask yourself, okay, we're going against Bama in 2 weeks. Who are we gonna start? Who can beat us? Who can beat us besides ourselves? Who can beat the Alabama Crimson Tide? Anthony Richardson can. I mean, he had like 1 minute left in the game. He basically was going to get sacked by 2 defensive ends that were probably the same size as him. He does a little juke left, juke right, hops back, and then sprints out right, stiff arms a guy, and then hurdles another guy on the sideline. Commentators are like, oh boy, it's going to be a tough one. And once he has that play and executes that play, they're like, oh, yeah, this is his team. I don't think there's a question that Anthony Richardson is the starting quarterback for the Florida Gators next week and for the next 3 to 4 years. He's a redshirt freshman, okay? He's done his time. Emory Jones is a great backup quarterback and will probably play. I know Dan Mullen's still thinking he's the guy, but man, you didn't have to be a genius or even... This could have been your first football game you watched, and you see Anthony Richardson out there just looking like he's on varsity amongst JV players. I mean, that's really what it looked like. I just couldn't believe what performance he put on for us. Let's go. I mean, this is it, man. College football's back. Gator football is back. We have our next quarterback who is rocking 1-5 Tim Tebow's old jersey number continuing the legacy. I mean, he's got an arm too. He's going to be the guy. You watch out for Anthony Richardson. I tell you what, man. It's going to be a hell of a season. It's going to be a hell of a game in 2 weeks when we face that Crimson Tide. And we're going to get them for the first time in a long time. And I hope we see them in the SEC Championship. I hope we see any team because we're running through every team this year. Anthony Richardson, you seized your opportunity and you made more than the best of it. We're excited. Go Gators. Hey, it's time. We're going to do it. This year, let's go.